Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Scott Thody, and I'm the president of the Eugene Smith Memorial Fund. Welcome to our very first virtual ceremony to celebrate our 2022 and 2023 grantees. It's been almost 4 years since we last gathered as a community to celebrate the Smith grantees, and I'm really thrilled we can do it today. The world has changed so much since we last met, and so has the Smith Fund. We're even more global in our reach and on our board. We continue what the founders of the fund began in 1980 to support photographers working in the tradition of W. Eugene Smith's dedication and passion. Now, 2023 was not an easy year for us. We started with the fear that we might not have the funds to give out the grants. However, thanks to so many of you coming to our assistance in a wide variety of ways, whether it was donating to our GoFundMe campaign, creating a video to support us, or just helping us get the word out, we were able to give out $48,000 in grants this year, and we thank you. And I would especially like to thank the Philip and Edith Leonian Foundation, especially Judith Lane, Jacqueline Miller, and Ann Tucker, for not only their incredible financial support, but for their sage advice as well. And I also need to thank the incredible Smith Fund board. As the song goes, you're simply the best.
Hi, my name is Maxim Dendyuk. I am Ukrainian photographer. I want to present you my ongoing project on which I've been working for the last 10 years. I documented many aspects of the confrontation between Russia and Ukraine, the Ukrainian Revolution, the annexation of Crimea, beginning of the war in east of Ukraine in 2014. 2 years ago, Russia started a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Dozens of cities and villages were destroyed, thousands of people were killed, and millions left the country. What we see today is a battle for freedom and democracy, the outcome of which is important not just for Ukraine, but also for the European Union. And maybe this is just the beginning of the next big war. I never wanted to be a war photographer, but this is my country, and I feel that I have to capture this historic moment for the present and future generation. Back in 2014, I was younger and idealistic about war photography. I wanted to be close to the front line to show the heroic struggles of the military. However, by the end of 2014 and even stronger in 2022, my perspective shifted. I developed a deep hate for war and contempt for militarism. More often, I started to turn my camera in the opposite direction of the front line, showcasing the aftermath of war, devastated cities and villages, hard nature, destroyed military vehicles, killed and wounded soldiers. I want to show the war as I see it. There are no winners at war. It brings only destruction, death and mental suffering. I want to evoke disgust with war, capturing the destruction, the blood and pain. I want people to sense the grief, to feel the smell of corpses and burning, and to realize the senselessness of war itself. I am thankful to Eugene Smith Grant for supporting my work. It's a big honor to become part of the history of this grant. Thank you.
I hope you can see the screen. So this is the work that we did. This is our previous work. It's called The Cinema Travelers. The story was about the traveling cinemas in India. These are one of the last traveling cinemas, which traveled from villages to villages in India, showing films on celluloid. And through this work, we were very much interested in in trying to see that how cinema so profoundly absorbs us, and it kind of encourages us to come out. For the patrons that you see here, this is the only time of the year that they get to see the big screen experience, and they wait for almost a year to come out and watch films on a large screen. And for us, since we are also filmmakers, we were making a documentary film along with that. And at a very crucial point in filmmaking, we used these still photographs from the work that we had done earlier in the film to try to arrive at the monumentality of the screen image, which was kind of elusive for us to find a way to evoke in the film that we're trying to make. This is what the traveling cinema looks like. The projector and the entire paraphernalia is in the truck, and it travels from one village to another, and they hitch these large tents where thousands of people can sit and watch cinema. This is the last image, and thank you. And the current work that we are making, which is supported by Eugene Smith grant, we are still in the process of making it, and we'll hopefully be able to share it with you all very soon.
My name is Tamui. I'm a documentary photographer from Myanmar. It is also known as Burma. I have been documenting about the uprising in Myanmar for the past 3 years. In 2021, February 1st, Myanmar military staged the coup by arresting democratically elected presidents and the members of the parliament. People starting to protest the coup in February, and then Myanmar military started using lethal forces on the protester, and then it has turned into the civil war. This is a scene from a town called Mobie, where Myanmar military based for a long time, for the past 2 years, which was recently seized by the coalition resistance forces. This is one of the houses destroyed by the artillery shelling by Myanmar military. People cannot go back to their home for now because there are a lot of landmines planted in this town. One of the Myanmar military tactics is that they block the roads, and they usually arrest the civilian to control the area and to stop the revolution. So villagers have to go through these kind of jungle routes. People usually set up their IDP camp in deep in the jungle to avoid the Myanmar military offensive attack. This lady has been displaced for over a year in the IDP camp, and later she decided to went back to her village to get the blankets during a winter season, and then she unfortunately stepped on a landmine. These are the soldiers from coalition forces. They were digging the ground to plant an explosive device to attack Myanmar military convoy trucks. One of a rebel fighter preparing ammunition for their operation. This young soldier's name is called Podu. He was an ordinary villager before the coup. This is a scene from Jungle Hospital. This soldier from Naypyidaw People Defense Force arrived dead to the combat medic setup point. These are the soldiers from one of the resistance forces called KNDF. They are preparing to go to the front line. Just like these people, there are a lot of youths joining resistance forces and fighting back Myanmar military around the country in Myanmar. So the current situation is quite intense, and Myanmar military is losing their ground in different areas. So I will be continue documenting the civil war in my country for the coming years as well.
Hi, I'm Tanya. I'm based in Kolkata, the Indian state of West Bengal. I was a student grant recipient of W. Eugene Smith Memorial Fund in 2022. Since 2020, I have been working on a project called Nothing Left to Call Home that has been supported by this prestigious grant. So currently, this is an ongoing project and evolving in 3 different parts, which is exploring the relation between communal violence and women, communal violence and class politics, and communal violence and climate change. So today I would like to request you to look at the images. I'm going to share my screen, and if you can, I hope you all can look at the images that has been made during this grant period. So here are the images I'm going to share. The project started back as a photography project, but currently this project is evolving as a multimedia project. Primarily, I was taking the interviews of the women and their portraits and trying to articulate their experience into visual metaphors. But now I'm focusing on the sound and the video part as well. So this is all. So I would like to thank all of you for joining tonight, and also my heartfelt gratitude to the Eugene Smith Memorial Fund. And thanks all of you.
Hello, my name is Irina Berning. I'm from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm super happy to be here today. I'm going to be presenting a project called Las Pelilargas. Since 2006, I've been searching and photographing women with very long hair in Argentina. I have to confess that in the beginning, for the first 10 years, I really didn't know what I was doing or why I was doing it. I think sometimes you need to work a very long time on something to really understand what it is. And in this case, I began to discover that this was, for me at least, like an anthropological study of not only the origins of Latin America, but a picture of the cultural identity of who we are today as a population. For indigenous communities, hair is very important. It's the physical manifestation of our thoughts and an extension of ourselves. And the same is true with the thoughts of Mother Earth, like the plants growing in nature or the rivers flowing in the mountains. This relationship is based on a profound spiritual connection to Earth that guided indigenous communities to practice reverence, humility, and reciprocity. I think if we pay attention, we can find this in other indigenous communities outside of Latin America, like the Native Americans, for instance. But what is very particular of Latin America and what I discovered over the years is that these indigenous traditions were blended with the waves of immigrations that came in, and it created a very hybrid population that is what we have today in South America. I'm very excited because I'm going to be going back to these towns with this grant where this all began, and I'm going to be looking at how globalization and mobile phones and global cultures are affecting this tradition.
Hello, I'm Miriam Boulos. I'm a Lebanese photographer. I am based in Lebanon and I have always lived here. I'm going to show you some images from my work on sexual fantasies. So I have been wanting to explore sexual fantasies since I discovered my own a few years ago. And in my work, I always try to deconstruct photography's historical, colonial, and patriarchal approach. So I base this project on an open call that says, if you're a woman or you have been socialized as a woman and you want to share your sexual fantasies, send me an email. This way, instead of me going to people and telling them, hi, can I take a picture of you? Which reinforces the binary power dynamic, like in front and behind the camera. In this project, people choose to collaborate with me and we create the images together. Each person tells me how they want to be represented and before anything else, if they want to be present in the picture or not, what they want to show or hide, where they want to be photographed, etc. I'm I'm also starting to add a new step in this work where we intervene on the images. It can be by writing, drawing, doing collage. It's an important step to me because while we're taught to bottle up everything, this is a way of bringing the project to the physical world and like literally taking space with it. Thank you.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm Fabian Ritter, and I'm very happy to present you my work, Use of Ukraine, today. I started this project basically 2 years ago, so since the start of the Russian full-scale invasion in Ukraine, I traveled several times to Ukraine, and I put my focus on the lives of young people there, and I was wondering, how is their everyday life looking like? What are their hopes and fears? And what are their emotions? What does their surrounding look like? And yeah, thanks to the help of my fixers and translators, I could meet many interesting people. We built some trust, and with that, I could find some very intense photos. And yeah, I'm doing this, like I said, for 2 years, and I'm so happy that with the help of the Eugene Smith-Leonian grant, I can continue the 3rd year of my work now. Actually, I will go to Ukraine in 3 or 4 weeks again and want to continue. And yeah, thank you so much for the support. And yeah, it's great to be among so many other great photographers here who have won grants from the Eugene Smith Foundation. Very happy to join the list. It's an honor. And yeah, thank you so much for the attention. And yeah. This was a short glimpse into my work. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hello, my name is Oyewole Lawal. I'm a Nigerian. I'm born and brought up in Lagos State, the mega city of Nigeria, and also one of the mega city in Africa. As you all know, my project, Guardian of Gaia, the Unseen Eco Warriors, it's a project about scavengers, people I tend to call waste miners. They tend to help us towards recycling by picking up wastes that are left on the landfill and in the gutters of our environment. These people are highly important because I tend to see them as the front fighters of climate change. I would share my screen now to show you pictures that I've made so far on this project. Yeah, these are the scavengers waiting to collect waste, and most of these scavengers tend to work day and night. They work on the dump site, they live on the dump site, they sort on the dump site, they eat on the dump site, they do a lot of things on the dump site. They watch TV, they do medical stuff on the dump site also. And they are really different fighters of climate change. Some of them are not just waste pickers, some of them do other things, like they rap, like example, Nas Boy is a rapper and he uses his phone to record himself while rapping. I have one of his voiceover where he was rapping actually. This is Abatambu is a migrant. Most of these people are actually migrants from the north, and is a migrant that does this work, but he didn't tell people at home that this is what he does. Yeah. And this particular picture is one of my best portraits I made. It's Rabiu. He was heading out of the dump site, the landfill, when I saw him with a plastic rose, and I was like, can I take a picture of you? And he was happy for me to take a picture of him. we're friends now because we're actually having the same surname, Lawal, Lawal. Exactly. Yeah, that's all for now. And I want to use this opportunity to thank Eugene Smith Funds for helping me chase my dream by granting me the opportunity to further tell my project, tell my story. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Alona Kadosh and I'm a photographer from Russia based in Germany. I was born in Siberia in a small city called Tomsk the year before the collapse of the Soviet Union, and I moved to Germany in 2019. I told my German friends a lot about this place, of which beyond stereotypes hardly anyone knew anything. Since the beginning of the full-scale war in Ukraine, I doubt whether I truly understood what defined my homeland. In the week the war began, I wrote a letter to my parents, but I never sent it. We've talked about the war once. They would say about a special operation. Over the Christmas 2022, I returned for the first time to see my parents and capture this feeling that accompanied me. The pain, the loss of identity and home, and a love for people who believes in a different reality. What remains of home when one's own country becomes a perpetrator? What do you become yourself when your own family suddenly feels like strangers? The project is a visual diary consisting of self-portraits, pictures of my family, friends, and my hometown. I tried to capture this glimpse of reality between illusion of normality in the Siberian city far away from the front line, the reality I used to know, and the subtle intervention of the war, which is always present anyway, like this Z letter between the Christmas decoration, or the graveyard where the Russian soldiers are buried. The Eugene Smith Memorial Fund encouraged me to continue working on this project. So in the time when you're watching this video, I'm probably sitting in my children's room in my parents' house, far away from the place where I'm living in right now. And there is about midnight on the clock.
This ends our first virtual ceremony. Yay!